Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is a condensed version of today's episode of Undisputed, handpicked with the best segments and discussions. Skip, Shannon, let's go.
So the Cowboys offense continues to struggle. They were held to just 13 points in a loss in Seattle yesterday for the third straight game. Dak Prescott failed to throw for 200 yards. He was also sacked 5 times and intercepted twice by Earl Thomas. Ezekiel Elliott rushed for 127 yards, but he had a costly fumble in the fourth quarter. After the game, both Zeke and Dak put the loss on their shoulders. Let's take a listen.
I've got to be more accurate, got to be more consistent in making throws. We've got to get open, go all the way across the board. We've just got to do better as a whole, as offense, but it starts with me.
I had a poor performance today. Did well in the run game, but overall, I dropped the ball. So, that loss is on me. At the end of the day, when you got that ball in your hand, that's the team in your hand. And, me being a leader on the team, me being a better player on this team, I got to do a better job taking care of the ball. And, that costs us a game.
Well, Shannon, since you came ready for this one, how much trouble is Dallas in?
Jenny's not going to like that.
Well, Jenny, I want you to celebrate too. I got Jenny one of the old
I don't think Jenny will.
Jenny, you all right? Jenny, celebrate. Celebrate, Jenny.
So nice gift.
I got me one of these old lack gummies. You don't mind if I have one old lack gummy. One more lack gummy, because I was going to get so excited, too hyped. I need something to calm me down right quick. Skip to
Wait, I have one quick question.
Yes.
Aren't you the guy that said the Cowboys would win easily because Seattle is garbage? Aren't you that guy? Wait, you're celebrating your bad pick, or what is this?
That's good gummy.
I don't get it.
Let me have my moment. This is not about you. I told you.
I don't get this.
Jenny,
a lot of props.
Jenny,
Yes.
remember I told you last week?
Yes.
I said, now, you're not going to come back out here. It's going to be very short-lived.
You looked
into that camera. Now, I want you to look into that camera and do what you did last week.
You look in your camera and put that in your mouth.
It wasn't the same celebration.
He picked Dallas huge. He picked Dallas huge.
I also told you what was going to happen. Now, back to my original. Skip, they in some trouble. They're in a heap of trouble.
You hope.
I told you I'm going to get all my due back because I told you they weren't going to make the playoffs.
Did I bet on this game? No. I told you early in the week, I said, no way am I betting one drop of dew on this game.
At some point in time, the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to realize the best player on their football team is Ezekiel Elliott.
Really?
Skip, he had 16 carries for 127 yards.
Okay. When's it my turn?
Not yet.
Go ahead.
This is too good. It's too good over here.
This is too good? It's completely wrong.
It is right.
Sorry. It's too good right now.
In 9 of his last 11 games, Dak Prescott has thrown for under 200 yards. And in those games, he's 8 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Now, he's had 5 straight games, Jenny, if we go back to last year. And if you go back to last year, Skip Bayless, 5 straight under that. And he's 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. You got to go way, way back to like 03 and dig up Quincy Carter. That's have a quarterback in the Dallas uniform that put up numbers like this. Now, you love QBR. That's his favorite stat.
True.
Jenny, let me tell you how I do. They measure your rating from 0 to 100. 50 is average. Dak Prescott is 27 out of 31 qualified quarterbacks. Now, you notice Skip Bayless hadn't mentioned QBR today, but that's neither here nor there. If I were to take away that one long pass to Tavon Austin, Dak Prescott would be under 5 yards per attempt. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give him that. But he's still like 30th. The offense, second worst in scoring, third in total offense, second in worst in passed offense.
Boy, your research was busy last night.
But here's the thing, Skip.
Pulling those strings.
All you have to, Zeke Elliott, instead of 16, he needs to be around 25 or 30 carries. Skip, they can do it all they want to, and you can keep believing in Dak Prescott all you want to. But at the end of the day, they're not going to win a game with him being the primary ball handler throwing the football down the field. That's not where they are. That's not who they are. Now, you better turn around and feed that guy. And let him eat, because he was making plays yesterday, Skip Bayless. You saw that handoff where he went to the right, and then he cut it back and almost got out the gate. He started to look, and he got up and he... Oh, and one more thing, if you don't mind me asking. I told you.
You better get it all out, 'cause I'm about to unleash all over you.
You can unleash, but it's not going to get them a win. It's not going to get them a win. But anyway, I just want to know one thing. Did Sean Lee play yesterday?
Nope, not in the second half. He didn't.
Why is he not playing?
Hamstring.
Oh, again.
Yeah. And would you believe my team won the second half 10-7 with no Sean Lee? That's a sign of hope. That's a silver lining up in the clouds.
Y'all got the doors blown off you.
Oh,
but
really?
you were
We
down.
got the doors blown
Yeah,
off?
what was the final score, Skip, if you don't mind me
We both
asking?
had 292 total
Okay.
yards.
No.
I don't know. Is that doors blown off?
Did both of you have 24 points?
No.
Okay, then. So carry on.
Did we give them most of those? Yeah.
What you mean you give?
Yeah. Tell me when it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Oh, thank you very much. So, once again, I reiterate, you called this team garbage all last week. You said my Cowboys would win easily because the known world was all saying Dallas will win easily. That's all I heard on the pregame show yesterday. That's all I heard was this is a lock for the Dallas Cowboys. And I will be the first to tell you that my Cowboys ride the roller coaster, and they get caught up in what they read about themselves and hear about themselves, and they take that out of your mouth. I can't.
How about read the playbook? They should be reading their playbook instead of the press clipping.
And Coach Clapp did not have them remotely ready to play yesterday. I saw no urgency. I saw no focus. I saw no locked in. I saw no attention to detail. I saw a poorly coached team that looked like they thought they could roll their silver-starred helmets out there onto the turf at Seattle. This is the home opener at CenturyLink.
If you don't
and win that game, I don't think you can do that.
If you don't mind me asking, all those things that you mentioned that he didn't have them ready to do, when was the last time you saw them be ready to do those things?
Giants, they got mad. Dak got mad. They got scared. They were scared they were going to get their doors blowed off by their division rival on Sunday Night Football. And did they not just smash them? They smashed them. And they convinced you that they were going to go up and smash Seattle. And you were dead wrong about that. And I even asked for 8 points, 9 points. Like, give me Seattle 8. I was willing to bet against my team to win more cases ado. I'm only up 11, but that's okay.
I get it back.
So, okay, you'll get it back. But here's the point. Yesterday, for me, will be remembered as the Earl Thomas game because my owner, Jerry Jones, failed to close the deal for Earl Thomas that was on a silver platter for all the preseason to close. And what happened yesterday? If Dallas had had Earl Thomas, they would have won that game yesterday, and I'll tell you why. Because there were 2 tipped interceptions, 2 bad bounce interceptions that Dak Prescott threw, where they hit his receiver's hands and then bounced up in the air. And guess who was Johnny on that spot? The best ball hawk in pro football, Earl Thomas, just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Isn't he always?
Yep.
Is that not nose for football?
Well,
and the first one, he just picks it off his shoestring. You know, it's almost on the ground. He just snatches it, right?
Yep.
Change the game.
He's a heck of a player.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. And then Dallas drives all the way down to the Seattle 19 in the fourth quarter. And unfortunately, Dak Prescott tries to throw to somebody named Blake Jarwin. Blake Jarwin's your tight end. Are you kidding me? He's undrafted free agent. And the ball pops up in the air. And who's Johnny on the spot? Earl Thomas snatches another one and takes away 7 or 3 points from Dallas at that point. So there are those 2 plays. And then there are the 2 that Dallas gave up.
What?
Both safety blunders, both blown coverages by the safety on the Lockett touchdown and then the first touchdown. The safety just doesn't get there. They just lose the receiver both times. Would Earl Thomas have lost that receiver? I think not.
But Skip, let me tell you what happened. Is that if you do not reroute these receivers, Skip.
Lockett weighs 165 pounds.
But all Awuzie has to do, Skip.
They're just playing zone.
Yeah, but they're playing cover 2. You got to force him inside to give your safety a chance to get over the top.
Frazier's got to get there. He can't get there. He's a strong safety. That's a free safety kind of play. And Earl Thomas gets there and probably picks the ball off.
No, not with Lockett with that kind of speed, Skip. You got to force him inside. They tell you in cover 2, force him inside.
Awuzie just fell off the line of scrimmage at the snap. Okay? All right. Okay, I got it. But I say if Earl Thomas is quarterbacking your defense, I say that neither of those 2 plays happen. That's the football game. The 2 interceptions and those 2 touchdown passes by Russell Wilson, who's really good still. He's going to make some plays.
Yeah, he'll make plays.
Okay, that brings me to my man Ezekiel Elliott. This is Zeke's team, says Shannon Sharpe, the Hall of Famer.
It is.
So, guess what my man 21 did yesterday? Early, it's nothing to nothing. There's a third. We don't need to see this play, but it's a third down play. It's a third down play.
Well, you don't want to see it.
And it's 3rd and 9, and Dak hits Zeke on a little cross, hits him right in the hands with a big step on Bobby Wagner, and he's going to turn it up, and he's going to still be running as we're talking right now. And it hits him right in the hands, and he just drops it. Then later in the half, Dak makes a good scramble. He escapes the pocket. He runs to his right, and there's Zeke, and he's all by himself. And he hits him right in the hands, and it's a walk-in touchdown. Wait, he He stepped out of bounds. He Pop Warnered it. This is a mistake that the kids don't make.
Seattle's close to Canada, right?
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, so maybe it was that deal. Maybe he visited the.
Because he was rookie year. There's a dispensary up there. He was curious.
He did before the preseason game 2 years ago. He visited the dispensary. I don't know. Because it's a mistake you cannot make if you're going to win at Seattle.
Yeah.
You can't step out of bounds before you catch a touchdown pass. Am I right?
True.
And then later in the game, as Seattle left the box and started playing soft coverage, all of a sudden Zeke starts eating because they're not attacking the box anymore. And all of a sudden he's escaping and he escapes for the longest run of the day, and he gets all the way to the Seattle 19. And what happened? He gets stripped from behind. That's 7 more points or 3 more points, depending on what they had. They had at least 3. My kicker actually made both of his field goals.
But you're not going to talk about how he started the ball outside and right upright, and it duck hooked inside.
But you know what? I'm starting to see that's his pattern. He aims at the right upright, and it starts, and he's got a little hook to it. And he made both of them. But this is the same Ezekiel Elliott. So we have a huge drop pass. We have a step out of bounds, nullifying a touchdown. And then we have he fumbles at the 19 and costs them a chance to get back in the game. And to me, on top of, did you see what Randy Gregory did at the end of the half? Randy Gregory gets in a little tit for tat thing, and he swipes at the defensive lineman, and he gets a 15-yard penalty and gives Janikowski a 47-yard field goal. That's 3 more points. It was only 24-13. Look at all the if. But look at them. Don't tell me they got their doors blowed off.
But what makes Randy Gregory
They blew their own doors off.
What makes Randy Gregory play so egregious? He had to reach over the official to hit the guy in the face. It's like the police in the store and you try to rob it with the police there.
If you're going to get a shot in, just take a shot. Don't just love tap him. That was just like a little tap.
I love it. Okay.
Are you kidding me?
But what are we going to do about what are we going to do about Dak Prescott's 14 QBR?
You predicted 5 sacks of Russell Wilson. What happened to my defensive front?
They got 2.
Was terrorizing. They got 2, and they hit him 7 times. What happened to my Cowboy offensive line that I keep telling you is so overrated? They allow 5 sacks and 10 quarterback hits. And I will be the first to admit Dak is holding on the ball too long because he's not protected. So he had an interesting quote after the game. I'm going to read it real quickly. He says, after he took all the blame for the game, but he said, we've got to find exactly who our go-to is in the passing game, and not necessarily.
You didn't need one.
Yeah, he's saying, I'm not speaking on any player. I'm just speaking on who's our go-to concept. Okay. Well, they don't have one. Cole Beasley is their leader with 12 catches. Compare that to Michael Thomas of New Orleans, who's now set an NFL record for 3 games. He's got 38. So Cole Beasley, 12 to 38 over there. And I'm saying, somebody's got to emerge.
Whoa, time out.
Maybe it's Bryce Butler who was not active yesterday.
Hold on, Skip Bayless, hold on. In March, Dak says we don't need a number 1. We're just going to throw the ball around and find the open receiver.
Well, who's going to step up?
But see, that's what I'm talking about. See, when you say all these things that you think we want to hear, Dak said we don't need a number 1. That unless you're Tom Brady, you don't need a number 1. But Skip Bayless, look here. What are we going to do about Dak Prescott?
All right, here's what we're going to do. What did I say all last week? Dak Prescott has to run the football for this team to be effective. How many times did he run it yesterday, Mr. Sharpe? Can you explain that to me?
2.
He ran it 2, but the first called run, the first read option that he ran was with 6 minutes left in the football game, and he got 10 quick yards, and then he had another scramble for 11 yards because he can run with it because he weighs 250 and can move.
Right.
So what are you doing? You go the whole game. It's got to be Dak, Zeke, Dak. You got to keep the defense guessing. You can't let them pin their ears back and keep coming after Dak Prescott.
I just want to know, Skip.
Why is that, Shannon?
Is he we running the wing tee or we playing quarterback in the
And by the way, to your point, Troy Aikman, for his entire career, averaged 199 yards passing per game. And guess what? Troy Aikman's in the Hall of Fame, averaging 109.
Don't do that, Skip.
I'm going to do it.
Skip,
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Skip, that was a different time.
They play old school football. That's who they are.
But not
they run the football.
The rules are set up so you can throw the ball. Yep. Look how they protect the quarterback. Look at the numbers these quarterbacks are putting up. Not named Dak Prescott. I'm sorry, Skip.
You got to let him run. So This is the Earl Thomas game. Jerry Jones failed to close the deal. He's the all-time plunger in pro football, and suddenly he's gone from plunger to his toilet is stopped up. That's what's going on right now because he's got to get Earl Thomas, and he's still available. Maybe you could go get him. And Earl Thomas said...
Not now.
Okay, why did Earl Thomas go and bow? Because he was mad at the Cowboys. And what was his quote? He said, if they're going to trade for me and extend me, they should have did it. Well, they should have. Why didn't they do it? So he was mad. He's playing angry against Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
And he said before the game, 2 Dallas coaches came up and told him, you're going to be a Cowboy tomorrow. Well, then he said, were they messing with him? They're trying to get in his head and get him off his game? Maybe. But he is still, by all accounts, available.
Skip. At what
now
point,
it's too late to beat Seattle.
I'm just trying to figure out. You put blame on Jerry Jones. You put blame on Jason Garrett. You say Ezekiel fumbled. You say he has nobody, and you say the receivers aren't very good. At what point in time does Dak Prescott bear any culpability in what's going on with this team offensively?
I thought he threw it pretty well yesterday, given the fact he didn't have much time.
Russell Wilson never has much time. 19 of 34 for $168. Skip, he's averaging 165 yards passing the game in today's game.
You know what counts huge in QBR? What does the quarterback do with his legs? Well, you took his legs away from him yesterday, so he had a bad QBR.
Look, guess what also matters? Do you throw the ball? Do you put the ball in the end zone? What's your completion percentage? How far are you throwing the ball down the field? All I know is Dak Prescott. There are 31 qualified quarterbacks. Dak Prescott ranks 27th. He has the second the worst yards per game.
Okay. They're 1 and 2. That's why. They are 1 and 2.
Why?
Yeah. Was he good against the Giants? Yeah, he's really good.
That's one game. Was he good against in the first game? Was he good against this in this game?
No, he was no good.
Okay, then I need you to say it.
No, I said it, but Ezekiel Elliott cost him.
Don't do that, Skip Bayless.
Those are 3 huge blunders. Your man Zeke cost him the football.
What about
if you're going to put the game in his hands?
Okay, no, actually they put the ball in Dak's hands, and he threw 2 picks. That's what he did do. Now run tell that.
Well, he threw a touchdown pass that got nullified because his star had stepped out of bounds, something you don't do in Pop Warner. You know it, and I know it.
You will not give you.
I'm sorry.
What is it with Dak?
Wait, if you give me that touchdown pass, and we got a whole different conversation going here because it would have changed, it would have tilted that field.
Maybe so.
And all of a sudden, the Cowboys are going, what?
Well, did you see Brandon Marshall dropping all those 3rd down plays, Skip Bayless? Well, if he gets, you can't say, well, you don't care.
You told me they were garbage, so were you surprised?
So what that make the Cowboys? Trash.
So how do you celebrate your pick? That's what I don't. You celebrate a wrong pick? I don't get that.
I just love it when a play.
I don't even understand that.
Skip. Huh? It's the smallness of it. Okay, I lost that. I'm trying to win a war here, not the battle. These games are battles. Okay. I'm trying to win the totality, like the Civil War. You had the Battle of Antietam. You had all these battles.
That was the bloodiest battle.
The bloodiest of all of them, yes.
Well, I hope that wasn't Antietam.
No, I'm just saying. But the Civil War was a collection.
Well, the next battle is Detroit at home, and Matt Stafford always throws a party when he goes back to his hometown of Dallas. He's from Highland Park High School, and he's just riddled them before. But maybe, I don't know.
If Dak is that guy, if Dak is the guy that you
Here's what will happen. All week it'll swing back, and everybody will be picking the Detroit Lions, and just maybe my team will
I'm picking the Cowboys. I'm picking the Cowboys.
Yeah. I haven't decided if I like when the Cowboys win or lose on Monday. I haven't figured this out yet.
You know what we like.
Okay, either way.
No mercy.
Well, the Patriots were supposed to be a lock against the Lions last night, but Tom Brady and the Pats offense struggled big time, only scoring 3 points in the first half. The defense wasn't any better, giving up 2 touchdowns to Matthew Stafford. They've now allowed 77 points in their first 3 games. New England now sits at 1-2 after the loss, and they're looking up at the undefeated Dolphins, who they'll host on Sunday. We are joined by Super Bowl champ and former Patriot James Harrison. You can help us with this question. Can the New England defense be fixed?
I think the New England defense can be fixed because I believe in Belichick. I believe he'll go and he'll get those guys together. He'll get them playing better. A lot of the stuff was assignment related. You've seen guys missing gaps, doing wrong things. So I believe that he can do it. And another thing is the offense. It wasn't like New England had a great, defense over the last few years. It's been you know, Tom's going to go out here and give you, you know, 21, 28, you know, almost 30 points. So that was a big draw to it. So I believe it can be fixed.
I agree with you. But here's the thing. The offense, as he said, offense is going to have to hold up their end of the bargain. Skip, they had 0 first downs on their first 3 drives. They had 3 first downs in the first half, where the Lions had 14. So while you're going 3 and out, you're allowing the Lions to come back on the field, possess the ball. Even when they're not getting points, they're possessing the ball, keeping you off the field, keeping you out of a rhythm. And if you think about it, last year, the first 4 games, they gave up more points than at any point in time under the Belichick era. From that point on, they were #1 in scoring defense. They were still giving up a lot of yards, but you don't lose games by giving up yards. You lose games by giving up points. So they were keeping teams out of the end zone. The way they're going to have to do this is the way they've always done it. Tom Brady go out there and he gets a big lead. He forces the team to be one-dimensional, which is throw, 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 and not be able to run the football. Because over the last couple of years, Skip, they've struggled stopping the run. But a team can't run the football if you're behind, a la the Cowboys. You fall behind by 10, 14 points. The days of running your way back into the game is not very good. So with that being said, this defense can be fixed. Like James said, they just have to get in their gaps. Matt Patricia, and I thought this, I didn't think he could win, but I said, you know, he could cause them problems because he went against them every day in practice. He knows the strengths of that offense. Right. And if you go back and watch, I wish everybody could get the all-22 copy, and you watch some of the defensive guys running the routes for the receiver. Right. They're running an option route. The guy's going to go sit up 15 yards over the ball, and he's going to option away, and the DB is sitting there just like this. Like, where you going, bro? I didn't see this. My coaches prepped me. Every time they were supposed to be somewhere, Skip, they were where they were supposed to be. Give the Lions credit. Tom can play better. Tom will play better. And then in turn, the defense will play better.
Is it possible the defense could sign this man to play again? Because I think
no, it is not possible.
Yes.
No, it is not possible.
Volunteer, please.
James Harrison is done. I am very happy and comfortable where I am at.
Yeah, he's up here with us.
Because I think he might be able to fix this, but I'm not sure if anybody else can who's in that locker room
support
right
on
now.
the corner now and stop the run from getting outside. I could do that at 50.
So, just to be objective, Trey Flowers was out last night and Patrick Chung was out last night, and they're 2 very good players, but we're not talking about Pro Bowl difference-making players. They're just good players. Eric Rowe was out last night. Maybe that was a good thing because he replaced Malcolm Butler in the.
He got benched the game before.
No, that's what I'm saying. But he was out. He didn't dress last night. So I want to remind everybody that right now, the New England Patriots have given up the 28th worst yards in the league. 28th worst. Their time of possession is 29th worst. Let's see, 2 + 2 = 4, because if you just keep giving up yard, right? You're keeping 12 on the sideline. And what did Slay say after the game last night?
Keep them off the field.
Our goal was to keep 12 on the sideline, and they did because they won time of possession 39 minutes to 21 minutes for Tom Brady. It's hard to do a whole lot in 21 minutes, and you're right, they went 3 and out, but they were trying to feature their rookie back, who doesn't run with great authority to me. He did not impose his quick will on the Lions defense, which had given up 190 yards rushing at San Francisco the previous week. Right? And it looked like they just took Sony Michel pretty much out of the game early in the game, right?
They did.
So here's why I'm not so sure this can be fixed. I am seeing a disturbing trend with a guy you idolize and love and revere in Bill Belichick. I'm just seeing a trend that is not healthy. When I see what happened in the Super Bowl, and you were there for that, your defense gave up 538 yards and 41 points to the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's not really a backup quarterback. Come on.
Well, but he is now the backup quarterback, and he always was the backup quarterback. I love him, but again, Carson Wentz is back, so he is the backup. So, but whatever. So we'll just say to Nick Foles, okay? And then in the opener this year, it was 27-20 New England at Foxborough against a Houston team that all of a sudden doesn't look so rated anymore because they're 0-3 Houston. And that night they ran for 167 yards against that Belichick defense. Then Jacksonville happened. At Jacksonville last Sunday, Jacksonville had 480 yards and 31 points, and Blake Bortles just went crazy, threw for 376 and 4 touchdowns. He has been awful against the New York Giants in the opener, and he was awful yesterday. He was even more awfuler yesterday. They won 9-6. He managed 6 points in that game and had a QBR of 19, scale 0 to 100 in that game against Tennessee yesterday. Well, so then that brings us to the Lions game. And last night, the Lions go for 414 yards, 26 points. But here's the real disturbing trend. Super Bowl, 10 of 16 was Philly on third down. Blake Bortles, 10 of 14 on third down. Last night, Matt Stafford, 7 of 14 on third down. If I add up those 3 games, that's 27 of 44 on third down. That's 61%. That's horrendous for a genius defensive coach, right?
Yeah.
That just means that more than half the time on third down, your opponent's going to convert.
The players still got to play, though.
Okay.
The players still got to play. I mean, I could put you in the greatest defensive scheme in the world. If you don't go out there and shore up a tackle.
What if they're just not good enough? Is that possible?
The players got to play. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You got to go out there and do your job. I can put you, like I said, I can put you in the greatest defensive, offensive scheme, whatever it may be. If you don't go out there and execute, if you hit a guy, wrap him up, and you don't get him on the ground, and you let him get another 3-4 yards when you had him short and stopped right here, but you just didn't get him on the ground, that's going to convert.
Okay.
And that was some of the things that happened.
Okay, you know that defense pretty well, and you were watching it closely last night. Are there any difference makers out there? Is there anybody? Because I thought Hightower's return, I thought that was going to be a difference maker. He looked a little like a step slow last night.
Yeah, he's out. He just got back from injury. He was out a whole year. He
was never a Kuechly or Chase. He didn't have that kind of speed.
Sean Lee.
But here, stop playing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when you look at Sonny Michel, Skip, he would be great if they got a lead. And you got a spread backfield. He's the eye back, and you got space.
Well, I don't know if he can bang the ball between the tackles. He's just not big enough.
But if you look at what he did against Georgia, they spread the formation. They put him in the backfield, so now you got lanes.
Trust me on this. My Oklahoma defense not very good last year, so that didn't shock me.
But see,
you're going to have to just outscore.
They get a lead, and now you got to play nickel or dime defense to that. And so it's defensive back instead of a D lineman and a linebacker in there. That's going to be a different story. So just give him time. He's as good as advertised. He'll get better at catching the ball. But it's hard to find a rhythm because they play James White for a series, they play Burkhead for a series, and then you got. So he's used to being the guy. He and Nick Chubb, they're used to being the guys. Now you got to wait till you get in a nice rhythm, get a nice lather going. Burkhead, you're up. Like, oh, man.
You said yourself, they only had the ball for, 21 minutes?
21 minutes.
You don't get a lot of time.
Burkhead's not bad, and he got hurt again last night.
That's his history, though, Skip. He was hurt in Cincy.
And I'm not saying he's a difference maker, but he's got some stature where he can bang it up between the tackles.
Does a great job of catching the ball out of the backfield. He'll get you for a hard-fought first down. But when the Patriots offense is not doing what we're accustomed to seeing the Patriots offense do, it puts a lot of pressure on a very average to below average defense. But when Tom can put that pressure on you, he jumps out there and he has you 17-0, or he has you 21-3, and now you have to play catch up. The defense knows you're not running the ball, you're down. This is why Atlanta lost. Atlanta should have been running the football because now they played right into the hands of the Patriots. Patriots like, oh, y'all, you mean tell me y'all up 25 and y'all gonna still throw it?
Right.
Okay.
Well, but what did Kyle Shanahan say? That's how we got here. We're going to finish it this way. We're going to keep 12 on the sideline because we're just going to pour it on them.
Yeah, see.
Okay.
That's how guys lose their money. You know, you go to Vegas, you get up big. Oh, I've been betting big. That's how I got. Be
Slow
smart.
down.
Put a little something back.
I just don't know how you get up 21-3 when you've lost Brandon Cooks and Amendola and Deion Lewis and Jordan Matthews and Malcolm Mitchell and Kenny Britt and Eric Decker, and I can just go on and on and on. They're all gone.
Skip, Eric Decker did you a favor. He know he didn't have it.
Well,
he let it go.
But it seemed like Brady loved him for a while, like they were clicking. They were connecting.
He couldn't catch the ball. Skip, you saw him.
I don't know.
I mean,
Plus, he can't stay healthy.
He can't. And had Brady was punting the ball up in the stands. Brady was cut. You see Brady last night? Don't pretend like I didn't see Brady throw his helmet last night too. You saw that?
No. Tossed it.
So let me ask you a question.
Tossed it.
So if
you know what? He actually gets mad. He's human.
Really? Oh, I could imagine had Cam done that, they'd have interrupted our local schedule. I know how they do it.
Tweets out of your.
Yeah, Cam.
Yep.
I was
what did
wondering
this man
that
tell us
come up.
about Tom Brady? 100% authentic.
I cannot.
No
I ain't got no
phony,
problem
no
with. I ain't got no problem with that, Skip. I'm just saying. He's you the one that told me he wasn't human.
I did not.
Yeah.
Say that.
Oh,
that's why he's greatest, because he is human.
One drive, fellas. One drive.
Let's go. That's not how he said it.
Let's go.
That's what Tom was doing.
You know what? You better get your ridicule in.
He was on the sideline and said, one drive. He was like, one drive, fellas. Let's get one drive. And been there, Tom.
Hey. What happened the next time they went out there? One drive happened.
And then guess what?
Did you see that dart he threw to James Stark? That was sweet.
And Matthew Stafford said, let's go and get this drive. Let's go and put this thing away. Let's get them guys over there. They can't stop us.
Well, that's a fact. Belichick.
That hurt. Skip, that hurt. Skip, you like to have an even longer day. Because if the Black Knights, could have done it, Skip, it'd have been over for you. You'd have had to call in sick. Ain't no way you'd have came to work today. Oklahoma had a loss.
We should have lost. I watched every second of it. I paid $54 to watch every second, and they were textbook, precision, surgical. That's a fun team to watch. It is well coached.
Oh, it's hard. The option because you're only going to see it once a year, unless you play Army and Navy and Georgia Tech, and you might see it. But normally you only have one of those on your schedule.
We won because Kyler Murray makes plays.
That is true. You
he ain't better than Tua.
He
ain't better than Tua.
Boy. No mercy. The Packers lost to the Redskins yesterday, but the moment everyone is talking about happened late in the third quarter. Clay Matthews was called for another controversial roughing the passer penalty. The referee said after the game, quote, "In my judgment, he landed on him with most or all of his body weight." Clay was not happy with the call, and after the game, he told us his thoughts. Let's take a listen.
When you have a hit like that, that's a football play. You know, I even went up to Alex Smith after the game, asked him, you know, what do you think? You know, what can I do differently? Because that's a football play. And of course, you know, like I said last week, the NFL's going to come back, so I put my body on him. You know, but that's a football play. I hit him from the front, got my head across, wrapped up. I've never heard of anybody tackling somebody without any hands. When he gives himself up, as soon as you hit him, your body weight's going to go on him. But you know, I think we're looking for the hits, you know, that took Aaron out last year. You know, that little extra. If I wanted to hurt him, I could have put, you know, some extra on him. But you know, that's football. So I don't know. You know, I really don't know. Unfortunately, this league's going in a direction that I think a lot of people don't like. You know, I think they're getting soft. And, you know, the only thing hard about this league is the fines that they levy down on guys like me who play the game hard.
Shannon, we are beginning to see a theme here. Was this call correct?
Yes, this was correct, Skip, but I got a little something. If you need to take the edge off because your Cowboys and your Patriots lost, you want to take the edge off, I got you over here, okay?
I think you need to take the edge off, which I think you already did before the show.
Where are these props coming
I think
from?
You've been sipping all through the show.
Skip, this was the correct call. Skip, this is what they're saying. If you land on top of the quarterback, they're going to throw the penalty. Now, Skip, they're up in the first 3 weeks last season. There were 16 of these calls. They're already at 30 with a game to play tonight. Skip, this is textbook Clay. I get it. The NFL is soft. This rule is dumb. It's horrible because you're asking a man to somehow put his arm around him, get ready to take him to the ground, and then somehow miraculously not fall on top of him. Skip, I went to the team hotel. Anthony Lynn, you know, was an ex-teammate of mine. Keith Burns, who's my best friend, also coaches on the team.
Chargers.
Sure.
Chargers,
Yeah.
the LA Chargers. And I was talking to him. I said, man, what are you teaching about the new rule about roughing the quarterback? He said, Sharpe, the way we're teaching it is that when you get to the quarterback, you pull him down, but you let him land on top of you. Let that sink in, Skip. Now, we get to the quarterback, you pull him down, and you let him land on top of you. Because any other way, they're going to throw the penalty. Skip, this is textbook. But I'm gonna give you what the NFL is looking for. There's a play in the Dallas Cowboys-Seattle game yesterday. And I want you to watch what Jalen Smith does to Russell Wilson. If we can run that copy, this is what the NFL is looking for. This is what the NFL is looking for. I get it, Clay. The NFL has gone soft. This rule is dumb. Watch what Jalen Smith does. If we can get a different angle, we can see. Watch what Jalen Smith does. That's what the NFL is looking for. He could have put his body weight on him, but that's not what he did.
They didn't throw a flag.
They didn't throw a flag. So I'm telling, I get it, Skip. It is frustrating. This is why it's so hard for me now, Skip, to rate quarterbacks against the other Pantheon greats because the rules are so weighted in their favor. Skip, I played 14 years, and I went to the Pro Bowl with a lot of guys. You talking about the who's who, from Montana to Elway to Marino to Kelly. I never, ever heard one quarterback utter, I want to play until I'm 40, because you know they got smashed. Now every quarterback you talk to, Skip, the guys at 23 said, I want to play till I'm 40. Tom Brady said, I want to play, because you know why, Skip? There's a reason why can't nobody steal the goal at Fort Knox, because it's so heavily protected. And that's what we're seeing with these quarterbacks. They've changed the rules, Skip. This is what you can hit. And you can hit it as long as you hit it and don't land on top of him.
You can't really hit it. You need to wrap it.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know
Just
what?
wrap it.
Eventually, it's going to get to like we see in practice, Skip. You get near the quarterback, they're going to blow the whistle. Because I really don't know what the guys can do. But by the letter of the law, that if you put any or all of your body weight on the quarterback when you bring him down, they're going to throw the flag. I don't know what else they can do, Skip. This rule is dumb. It makes no sense. The quarterback is protected enough. At some point in time, you play a violent game, Skip. It's still football. You're trying to make an inherently dangerous sport safe. I don't care what you put on the bull. I don't care what apparatus you give the rider. Skip, when he's on a 1-ton animal and he weighs 155 and that animal starts bucking, there's only so much safety you can guarantee him. And in the game of football, there's only
you don't want that to fall on you, right?
But
you're dead.
But here's the thing, Skip. That's an inherently dangerous sport. And sometimes it's called collateral damage. It happens.
Okay.
But this is getting out of hand, Skip. It's changing. This is why you see Drew Brees is completing 80% of his passes through the first 3 games. Let that sink in for a second, Skip. Not 5 out of 10.
He's the all-time leader in completion percentage already at 67, so it's not shocking that he's doing that.
So now when you protect him even more, ta-da.
Okay. So here's the irony of everything you just said, and it amuses me. You were dead wrong about what happened last week at Lambeau Field, because what happened was that was not a penalty.
You don't think that was a penalty?
That was not a penalty.
Right.
This was absolutely a textbook calling of the new rule. So I'm with you on that. But I love this new rule. I love the body weight rule, and I don't know why you're going off on that. You said it's dumb and horrible. I think it's the greatest thing that's happened to the NFL, because I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers get hurt or Drew Brees get hurt, or for that matter, Dak Prescott get hurt. And I don't want to see Russell Wilson get hurt. This is the body weight penalty, and you brought up a Dallas play. Can we see quickly the Tyrone Crawford?
Okay.
Tyrone Crawford in the Dallas game got a 15-yard penalty, and I immediately tweeted, good, correct call. He just crushed him. You can't do that, because it's so defenseless for little Russell Wilson to get almost 300 pounds right on top of you. That's the broken collarbone play.
Or
I don't like that.
shoulder.
Or separated shoulder. I don't like it. I don't like what happened yesterday, because Clay Matthews, it's like mind-blowing to me that he doesn't get it. That was a body weight call.
It was.
And it's just textbook. It's like, you're going to get a 15-yard flag. And I don't know what Mike McCarthy was doing on the sideline. He went into a rage on the sideline. And I'm saying, what are you doing? Don't you get this? You're smarter than that. That by the letter of the new law, that's like, yes. That's it. Anybody could call that.
But did you see what Clay did? Clay had his right shoulder in his thing and laid it on top of him and had his hand like this and talking about, no, I ain't doing that.
Okay.
Like, dude.
But last week, if we could see the play last week again, he actually put his hand on the ground to gently lay Kirk Cousins on the ground. And he didn't deserve a flag for that, because he's trying to follow the new rule. It wasn't that bad. And obviously, that play decided the game, because Kirk had turned into Kurt and thrown an interception.
Right.
And it got nullified. Yeah. But yesterday, this did not change the game, because they were down significantly. Right. They were down 11 at that point.
Right.
And so it wasn't a yes or no, win or lose kind of a play. But they got that one right. And I am good with that being right. And I was good with the one they called on my guy yesterday. You can't do that to these quarterbacks.
But Skip, the rules are so heavily weighted offensively. And for the quarterback, they're putting up numbers that, come on, Skip.
Hey, but I hear football.
Are you okay with these numbers?
Yeah,
Are you okay with them?
It's a quarterback's game. It's what people pay to watch. It just.
But not like this.
I don't want
Skip.
Aaron Rodgers to be gone.
I don't either, but not Madden. It can't
Brady
be Madden 2K.
Okay.
It can't be this easy.
But I hear the football players say, "How can I unteach myself to play football?" Well, how do you pull up on a punt on a punt rush. If you just keep on keeping on and you knock the punter down and the ball's gone, it's 15 yards, right?
Right.
So over years, everybody's taught themselves you got to pull up, you got to go right, you got to go left, because you really can't even touch the punter.
But I think the thing is that what they're saying is that if I go to tackle, so and basically what Leon said is that I go to tackle a guy because it's the only position that you're not allowed to do that. So I tackle a running back, I don't have to pull him down on top of me. True. I tackle a receiver, I don't have to pull him down on top of me. So for instance, Skip, when I'm going, it's so hard to get to the quarterback as it is. So now not only must I try and beat the guy that's blocking me or two guys, I got to get to him, and then, this is the quarterback. I got to pull him down on top of me, as opposed to just making a tackle. Skip, you're asking these guys to do it. You're asking them to do things that are physically impossible.
Okay, but I saw Dak Prescott get hit 10 times yesterday, and trust me, he took some shots. There are ways to still hit the quarterback.
You guess what? That's why they make the big bucks. That's why Aaron Rodgers make 33.5.
Like you resent the quarterback.
No. I just don't think the rule. I mean, I understand it's an offense, Skip. You go to a baseball game and most people want to see 13-12.
They do. You
go to a football game, you want to see what you saw in Atlanta. You want to see 43-37.
Or the Super Bowl, right? 41-33.
You don't want to see
exciting.
You don't want to see Tennessee and Jacksonville 9-6.
No,
you don't want to see that. But Skip, the protection has gone too far. Too far.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, Clay Matthews is going to have to figure it out because he leads the league with 3 roughing the passer penalties. So you
They're
can
getting deep and
sense
deep in
the
his
frustration.
They're getting deep and deep in his pocket. At some point in time, his wife will say, "Hey, baby, look here. You cutting into the kids a college fund."
He's got those commercials he does with Aaron, though, so he's good.
Oh, he's
Don't
okay.
do that, Skip. Why? What does Aaron Rodgers have to do with this? You should have not have brought Aaron Rodgers
brought it up.
I didn't bring up nothing.
Aaron's getting him his money.
No mercy.
Yesterday, my Vikings, they did lose to the Bills in one of the biggest upsets in NFL history. It wasn't pretty, but rookie quarterback Josh Allen looked pretty good, throwing a touchdown pass, running for 2 more. Kirk Cousins, on the other hand, was not good, committing 3 turnovers. Shannon, how do you explain this? Please help me out.
There's no explanation that I can give you that's going to make it feel better.
It's not good.
But Skip, when I played, I had a very simple rule. I respected everyone. I underestimated no one. And this is what happens sometimes. A team overestimates their ability while underestimating the other team. They saw what happened in Baltimore. Baltimore beat Buffalo 47-6. They got hammered at home so bad that a guy retired at the half. So they're reading all these headlines. They're watching them on tape. But I can assure you, Mike Zimmer says, look, this is the kind of team that has nothing to lose. They're going to come in here, and they're going to play their tails off. Now, we need to guard against that. We need to jump on them early. 6 minutes into the game, you're down 17-0, and you got a fight on your hands. And when you get down like this, you take the running game. The Vikings had 4 rush attempts, 2 by Cousins. Now, normally, Skip, I come out here and I say, that's my first cousin. Not yesterday. 5th cousin.
You're off that bandwagon.
He was my 5th cousin. In other words, Jenny, when you have a 5th cousin, you closer kin to a German Shepherd than you are that individual. Skip, he was terrible. But that's what happens. The defense didn't help either. They had Josh Allen looking like Jim Kelly. I'm like, when did Jim? I'm like, what? What did this do? He hurdling people in the middle of the field.
He was.
He's throwing, he deep. I'm like, where did this happen? Every team will have a game like this. If Buffalo wasn't a 17-point underdog, let's just say, Skip, they were an 8-point or a 5-point underdog, and they lost. I don't think because we don't normally see 17-point underdogs, first of all, in the NFL. The last time that happened, Skip, tell the people at home the last time there was a 17-point underdog and the team ended up losing.
I don't know.
You do know,
your
Skip.
researcher telling
Skip, I want you to stop playing.
I don't know.
23 years ago, it was the Dallas Cowboys against the Washington team. That was the last time that happened.
23 years ago?
23.
I'm trying to remember when that was.
You know when it was. Go back 23 years. 1995.
Wow.
You pretend like why you do that, Skip? Now all of a sudden you can't answer.
It was a good year. They only won the Super Bowl that year, so I guess it didn't matter. So Does that mean the Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl?
I guess the Vikings. Skip. No Dalvin Cook, no Everson Griffin. Only 6 rush attempts, 2 by Cousins. And when you combine, the defense had one of those games like they had against Philly, and the quarterback turned the ball over like Keenum did against Philly, and this is what you get, Skip. This is a blip on the screen. Every team will go through something like this. It's normally not a 17-point point spread, and the team is normally at home. But we've seen teams struggle against teams that, man, they should blow the doors off this team. And you see what happened. Because think about it, Dallas was favored by 1 point, and they got the doors blown off them. It happens, Skip. I'm not overly concerned.
Oh, you should be, and so should Jenny from Minnie. She was reveling in my cowboy misery, and now I'm reveling in hers.
I know.
Because I'm not sure which is more overrated, Kirk Cousins or the Vikings defense. I said it, the Vikings defense. Yeah. All I hear is it's the best.
No.
And I don't see it.
I don't either.
I didn't see it in the NFC Championship game. 38-7, really? You got annihilated. And I'm going to say it again about Kirk Cousins. He is simply the most overpaid player in the history of the National Football League. He makes $28 million guaranteed for 3 years. That's 84 guaranteed.
Fully.
84 million guaranteed dollars.
Yes.
Fully guaranteed,
Fully.
really?
Yep.
And he is what I've always said that he is. He is an underconfident overachiever. He's not that great, and he knows deep down I'm really not that great because he's a good guy, and he's a smart guy, and he knows, wait a minute, we're expected to annihilate a 16.5-point underdog, Buffalo coming in here, and what do you always say, Mr. Sharpe, about expectations? All of a sudden, they rose all the way to that roof. It's a home game that you should win going away.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, you look up and you say, oh, my God. We're down. We're down again. Oh, we're down again. And I got to keep throwing it. And you throw 55 passes and you complete 40 of them, but there's a lot of dinking and dunking going on because you average 5.4 yards per attempt. Is that good?
No.
Sharpe? That's not very good. And your QBR, this is the first time I'm bringing up QBR today. Your QBR for that game, Mr. Cousins, is 10 on a scale of 0 to 100. And by the way, with a minimum of 30 attempts, if you do, or not attempts, 30 plays.
Okay.
30 plays, that's easily the worst QBR of this football season so far, is 10, and it was the worst yesterday. So Kirk Cousins fumbled 3 times, actually, and he lost 2 of them, and he threw 1 pick, and it was kind of a little bad luck. It bounced up in the air, but still, it was a horrendous home performance, and this is what got me about it. You would think that Mike Zimmer would have Josh Allen for lunch, right? Wouldn't you just think he would just spin him dizzy? Like you'd be throwing blitzes at him that he's never seen before. And it looked just the opposite to me. It looked like Josh Allen was having his way with Mike Zimmer's defense. Yeah. So this defense is now 17th. This is just through 3 games, but it's 17th in points allowed. Is that good?
No, it's terrible.
Not very good for what I thought they were.
If you think about it, Skip, they did a good job. Josh Allen was 15 of 22 for 196 yards and a touchdown.
But he ran it. Woo.
Yes.
He ran 10 for 39,
right.
Scored 2.
They had 38 rush attempts for 128 yards, so it kept them off balance. And then as soon as Skip, I didn't know he was this athletic. He can make some plays out there.
He's a big kid.
Yeah.
He's a big kid.
Yeah.
He can run. I think he can run it as well as he can throw it.
I mean,
and he doesn't throw it that well.
It was very impressive. Now, I don't recommend he thinks he can make a living out of this, of hurdling people in the middle of the field.
He goes kamikaze. He's like, I'm going to run through that wall.
Bad things happen,
Skip. I would agree.
Especially because your shoulders are not – quarterbacks don't build up their shoulders like other guys that are used to falling on their shoulders. So I would recommend he not try that for at least another 6 to 8 weeks. But Minnesota, all is not lost. 23 years ago, the Cowboys were in a very similar situation. Now, I'm not saying that you have Troy, you have Emmett, you have Michael, you have
Deion.
You have time.
If only.
You have Charles Haley.
You have that offensive line.
Woodson.
You have that offensive line. So I'm not saying you have all that, but all is not lost. But Skip, you in the NFL, I used to tell Mike this all the time when he would get upset at me if I missed a block or he didn't think I didn't win on the route that he thought I should. I was like, Mike, the Broncos are not the only ones that pay their players. That guy gets paid too. He get an opportunity to meet. They practice too.
Yep.
We're looking at Minnesota. Buffalo do practice. They have coaches. They meet. They get paid. If you're in the NFL, Skip, obviously, their range of talents, no matter whether everybody at Apple is not on the same level. So everybody that's in the NFL is not on the same level. But if you're at this level, you're a damn good football player.
Well, back to my preseason predictions. I tried hard to push myself to say Vikings will miss the playoffs just because of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
But I couldn't because of the division, because I thought they were still the class of a mediocre at best division, and I think it's looking pretty mediocre.
They could have solidified. They could have put a lot of distance between them and Green Bay, them and Detroit, Chicago.
Yeah.
Skip, you can't because you get in the division, anything can happen. I mean, look Detroit, you're like, but Detroit and Green Bay and Chicago, they're going to play you tough.
They are.
They're going to play you tough home and away. So if you can get Buffalo, a team that you should beat, you make sure you're prepared mentally. Now, they'll be ready. They'll put on a better performance than for the Rams because they know what the Rams have.
They will. I would agree.
Now, the Rams are a little banged up. Talib and Peters are out.
Both are out.
Yeah, so that's going to be very interesting how they deal with Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen.
Yep.
But they'll be ready to play, but you can't have a letdown of this proportion. Losing is one thing. Losing in this manner is something entirely different.
Kirk Cousins. Thank you.
Kurt.
Can't end on that.
I'm being Kurt.
Oh,
Yeah, you being Kurt, that man.
They better come ready Thursday. I'm so excited.
No mercy.
Carson Wentz is back. He played in his first game in over 9 months and helped the Eagles beat the Colts 20-16. Wentz threw for 255 yards with a touchdown pass. And after the game, he said getting hit and getting back up felt, quote, like riding a bike. Shannon, how would you grade his performance yesterday?
I gave him a B+. I can't give him an A because he turned the football over, Skip. But I thought his health and mentally, he was A+. Because what he was doing and the way he was spinning and fighting through tackles, you would have never known he suffered a catastrophic injury 9 months ago. If someone didn't tell you that, you was like, okay, that's Carson Wentz doing his thing. I thought he'd be a little rusty, some balls sailed on him, but it was the weather. It started to rain. The rain got heavier as the game progressed. But I thought overall, Skip, I thought he played well. And then that last one, 17 plays, 11 minutes. That's what you do. That's when you want to know what a guy is made of. You hear guy, oh, yeah, everybody can catch the ball in the first quarter. Everybody can throw the ball in the first quarter. But when I need it, when I'm depending on it like the first and the 15th, Jenny, you know what happens on the first and the 15th? A payday. You depend on that. When they depending on you.
That was Dak-esque.
See, there you go.
I mean,
every conversation we have.
That's all Dak does is drive like that. Did you see the drive against the Giants?
When last time he did that?
Giants?
Oh.
How about,
games
what
ago?
was it, 16 plays, 82 yards?
We talking about yesterday.
That's better than what you're talking about.
Skip, why you do that?
I just
why you do
ran
that?
all over you.
Why you do that?
Yep.
See,
Put you right back
It
in
wasn't your
place.
turn. I'm reclaiming my time, Jen. I got 30
Okay.
extra seconds.
All right,
But
Jen.
anyway, I thought mentally he looked good, the way he was able to move around. He did a lot of this damage without his best receiver, Alshon. Alshon should be back in the next week or two.
He doesn't get an excuse. Brady's without any best receiver.
Whoa, Skip.
Go ahead.
Come on, Skip. Let me have my moment. He showed no signs. There was no hesitation.
True.
I didn't feel like he favored the leg. I didn't feel like he's like, I can't do this, I can't do that. He just played football. He felt very comfortable out there. So I gave him a B+. And he showed everybody why he was going to win the MVP prior to him getting hurt. So the Eagles are getting ready to take off. Once they get Alshon back, to get their complete roster offensively back, they're going to be to deal with. But I thought he looked very, very good yesterday, and I'm not surprised.
So are we to give Carson Wentz a break yesterday because he was coming off injury and he was rusty? I'm not going to give him any break. Did he play?
Yeah.
So he played.
Sure.
So back in my days at Vanderbilt, when you took a final exam, you couldn't write across the top of the booklet, the little blue book that you had to use.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't write across it, I'm sick, give me a break.
But let me ask you a question. If you missed the past previous months, did they let you take that test?
No, you wouldn't be in school.
Okay, then. What I'm saying, he had to come
Was
to
he
school.
ready? He's been getting ready, right?
Yeah.
So he was studying for this test.
But you don't get ready unless you actually play.
Oh, so you know how much I love QBR scale of 0 to
Oh,
100.
Lord,
So I'm going to go off his QBR of 39, and I'm going to grade him just the way I would grade any other quarterback. Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, you've been all over them today. So 39 to me is a C-. It's sort of below mid, right? Because
now, which one
if
of
you
those
were
guys
average, you'd have a 50. So he had a 39. So I'm giving him kind of a break at C-.
If you don't mind me asking, which one of those guys that you aforementioned, the Tom Brady or the Dak Prescott, came off an injury from 9 months ago?
None. But he was out there, and you always tell me, if you're good enough to go, you get graded like everybody else gets graded, right? That's what you tell me.
I remember you said that.
And I'm going to remember this game for a long time because the Eagles were so lucky that the quarterback for the other team was Andrew, I'm out of luck, because he's out of luck, man. I couldn't even recognize that guy. Andrew Luck is no lock for the Hall of Fame anymore, because I used to call him Andrew Luck, because that's what everybody told me. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm not so sure about that.
He's still hurt, Skip.
Oh.
That's a bummer.
He's still hurt because you know why, Skip? Think about it.
He better be hurt because he is shockingly below average in velocity. He's a soft armor now. He throws puff passes.
Because he can't.
Puff passes.
The arm is not
pop
fully
gun
recovered,
arm.
so he's not pushing the ball down the
like
field.
Little flutter passes. I'm like, who is this guy? He's lost velocity, he's lost accuracy, and he's lost a lot of confidence because he does not play with big confidence. Yet and still, he's got 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Time running down, and all he's got to do is he's got 4 shots to get in the end zone, and if he gets it in the end zone, you lose. Philly, you lose at home. Wow, I can't believe that.
That won't
because,
happen.
No, wasn't going to happen? Well, it wasn't going to happen because it was Andrew out of luck. That's who that guy was. So, of course, predictably, it gets down to 4th and 3, and I'm like, there's no way. And he kind of stumbles. Somebody hits his ankle or somewhere. He just stumbles and falls. It's just pathetic. That's the end of the game. That's the pathetic end.
That's not good.
Way to go, Andrew. So I realize he's gone through all kinds of surgery, and for a while he didn't even think he could play. But how lucky was Carson Wentz with a QBR of 39, an interception, a fumble lost, some high and outside throws. It was rainy. I think it was kind of drizzly, sort of a steady light rain, but the ball was wet. I'll give you that. But he didn't exactly light me up, man. When I'm watching him, I'm thinking, I don't know. That kind of looked like rookie year.
Well, I believe it's QB. You know what, Skip? They don't even use QBR.
Oh.
When the Hall of Fame, when they were like passer rating.
Really?
And his passer rating was 84.9.
Oh,
now
I know what that means.
You do know what it means.
Yeah.
For 35 years, passer rating was what we judged the quarterback on.
And it was bogus, misleading.
It was not misleading. What's misleading is your guy had 14 yesterday. That was misleading.
Which guy?
Dak. And then you blame everybody else. It's the receivers, Ezekiel Elliott, the offensive line.
They all deserve blame. Yeah. And I give you this. He doesn't have Alshon. Alshon helped make him and Foles last year.
Well, who made Dak? Jason Witten and Dez.
Dez didn't make him last year. Dez undid him last year. He led the league in drops last year.
Well, I don't know.
Dez had just one good receiver. We might be having a whole different conversation.
We won't have any of these guys that lead the league in drops because they can't get open so he can throw the ball so they can drop it.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about that.
So Tom Brady did have my guy Jordan Matthews from Vanderbilt University, the all-time leader in the SEC in catches and yards.
Yeah.
And now he's back as an Eagle.
Yeah.
So at least Carson's got his old buddy Jordan Matthews.
Yeah, he got his old buddy, but I'm trying to figure out what your guy did last night. Now, your guy had Chris Hogan, who had like 125 yards in the Super Bowl. He had Gronk, who had like 120 yards in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
He had Burkhead. He had James White. He had all these guys, and I'm trying to figure out that all he can give me was 133 last night.
Zach Ertz any good? Whew. Is he not right up the top of tight ends?
Yeah.
He's about.
He ain't Gronk though. It's Gronk, and then we go space, and then we start with Kelsey and everybody else.
And how about the guy named Dallas, who should have been a Dallas Cowboy, Dallas Goedert? How about that? Who caught? Boy, he caught a bunch of balls, 7 for 73 and a touchdown. He caught the first touchdown.
And who was doing that to him in the rain?
And
what
should have happened? Dallas Goedert was about to go to Dallas in the second round, and what did Howie Roseman, the GM of the Eagles, do? He snaked him. He went right up and snatched him.
You know Jerry was going to draft a kicker.
A kicker?
Yeah.
No, Dallas.
Walk it to him.
No, Dallas.
He said, walk it out.
No.
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Walk it out.
Dallas Goedert was really good.
Nelson
he would
Aguilar.
be giving Dak a real target at tight end right now.
Hold on. You say you believe in Will McClay. You say you believe in Steven and Jerry Jones and this roster. Jerry told
I never said that.
Jerry said this team put together. That his defense remind him of what, Skip? Better than any of his defenses that he had in the Super Bowl. That's what Jerry said now.
I know.
If it's Elijah Jenny, he said it.
It was really good yesterday, except for 2 big breakdowns that Earl Thomas would have nixed.
No.
Eliminated.
Well, they're not going to trade now because they're about to have a top 5 pick. And you would never trade a top 5 pick for a safety.
Yeah.
Never.
I love it, Skip. Skip, you know what? This hurts me. This hurts me worse than it hurts you.
I'm just going to sit here and swallow it until.
No, because I told you
see
last
how
week.
it all turns out. I still believe in.
Last week, he came out here. He looked into the camera. I said, Skip.
He wanted
it's
my
one
job,
game. Yeah, he want. Oh, you want me to read this, Jenny? I can see this.
So, are you predicting my Cowboys won't win another game this year?
I'm saying they're going to miss the playoffs, as I said before.
Are they going to win any more games? Because if you want that bet, I'll take it right now.
Skip.
Huh?
No, I don't want that bet.
Yeah, there's going to be some more How About Them Cowboys coming up.
But
you better book it.
You and far between.
You better book it.
There probably won't be about 5 or 6 of them.
You better hope so.
No, I don't hope that.
Enough Cowboys for now.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports, one of one.